Hi, it's Carrie. I'm back with another book haul. I know I just went to Half Price Books recently, but I had some time to kill before a meeting today, so I decided to go to Goodwill and just kind of wander around. Normally, most of the books that I buy, unless they're part of a series that's being continually written, I get them from Half Price Books or Goodwill or other thrift stores, just because you can find some really interesting books. So I bought 6 books, and I just wanted to share with you what I got. The first book, which I actually started reading in the car while I was waiting for my meeting, is Wait Till Helen Comes. I remember this book from like middle school or maybe early high school. I remember I've read it before. It's by Mary Downing Hahn. It is I guess I would consider it a middle grade ghost story. And it's actually very good, if I'm remembering right. This was only $2.99. The half off color today was green, and I don't think I got any green tags. So this book, it is about 12-year-old Molly and her 10-year-old brother Michael. They have never liked their younger stepsister Heather. Ever since their parents got married, she's made Molly and Michael's life miserable. Now their parents have moved them all to the country to live in a house that used to be a church, with a cemetery in the backyard. If that's not bad enough, Heather starts talking to a ghost named Helen and warning Molly and Michael that Helen is coming for them. Molly feels certain Heather is in some kind of danger, but every time she tries to help, Heather twists things around to get her into trouble. It seems as if things can't get any worse, but they do when Helen comes. That synopsis just makes it sound really good, and I love this cover. They've updated it since the version that I read. Ghost story, very good. I also found the book Reapers by Frederick Ramsey. It's got gorillas on the front. There's some shotgun shells and a crate with bullet holes in it. This was $2.99. It says, with the World Cup weeks away and diplomats, celebrities, and tourists descending on South Africa, neighboring Botswana is becoming a destination for poaching and smuggling and murder. When a man is found shot to death in Chobe National Park, supervising game ranger Sanderson takes it personally, especially when her boss calls it suicide. Her investigation leads Sanderson and Inspector Modise of Botswana Intelligence to Operation Paradise, an environmental group dedicated to restoring Africa's natural beauty and healing the earth. But there's no peace in the seething hotbed of corruption and violence that turns Sanderson's beloved park into a killing ground. From the jungles to the mountains, the seeds of global dissidence and political unrest are being sown, threatening the survival of men and beasts. So this sounds like kind of a political story, a political novel, but I like the setting of South Africa. I have a TV show that I really like called Escape to Chimp Eden, and it's about a chimp sanctuary in South Africa. I love the setting. I love the scenery in South Africa. And I don't know necessarily if I'm going to like the political corruption sort of story in this, but I'm willing to give it a try. So, there's that one. And this one looks a little older. Malloy, can't even speak today. Claire Malloy Mystery, Strangled Prose by Joan Hess. I mean, it looks like an 80s paperback, I guess. It's relatively thin. This was only $1.99. This one just sounds interesting. I'm Claire Malloy. I run that cute little bookstore in the abandoned railroad depot, the Book Depot. I love Mildred, aka Azalea Twilight, so I agreed to let her use my store for the autograph party for her latest smutty romance. Professor of Passion, Carrie. Even though I usually don't even stock her works. But as I say, Mildred was a friend. At the party, Maggie, our small college town's meanest feminist, burst in and read from the book, at which time I learned Mildred had used the circumstances of my late husband's death in the midst of her smutty trash. Mildred left in tears, and shortly thereafter I marched after her, thinking I could just kill her for her insensitive use of such a private matter. I didn't make it to her house, though. I returned to my party-filled little store, but someone else made it, because Mildred ended up dead. And since she's offended every faculty member at Faber College, there was no end of suspects. Like, that just sounds really good. One, because I love bookstores and, like, the literary setting, but Sounds very intriguing, to be honest. Yeah, it was only $1.99 for that one. And then I found the book for The Shack, which is now a major motion picture. And it sounds really interesting. This one was $4.99. I'm not going to read the synopsis because there is a film coming out. You could watch the preview for the film and get the general idea of it. Basically, the daughter has been abducted during a family vacation, and they find evidence that suggests that she's been murdered. 4 years later, her dad gets a note, apparently from God, inviting him back to the shack where the evidence of his daughter's murder was discovered. And it's like his religious experience, his sort of transformation of faith and such. I'm not a faithful person. I'm not a religious person, but I feel like this would be a very interesting book. I love the preview when I saw it. Yeah, that was $4.99. And I found a book by the author who wrote Gone Girl, which I have not read yet. It is still on my bookshelf. I have to read that. It sounds very similar to Girl on the Train, which I had to be in the right frame of mind to read. But this is also by Gillian Flynn. It's called Dark Places. And that was $4.99. Another suspense. And it's the very first sentence of the synopsis. Libby Day was 7 when her mother and 2 sisters were murdered in the Satan sacrifice of Kinnicky, Kansas. I mean, it just, this struck me. And I'm kind of nervous about reading it. I'm not real big into horror, thriller kind of books, suspense novels. Stephen King is different. He always adds like a supernatural, fantastic kind of element to his books. I love his books. But sometimes suspense and that sort of thriller doesn't really float my boat. But we'll see with this one. Sounds interesting. I bought one. Last one is called Compound by S.A. Bodine. It's very shiny. This one was $3.99. No, this is the half-price book. Half-price cover. $3.99, so it would have been $2 when I bought it. A high-wire act of a first novel, a thriller that exerts an ever-tighter grip on readers. So it's another thriller, but it just sounded interesting. Eli and his family have lived in the underground compound for 6 years. The world they knew is gone, and they've become accustomed to their new life. Accustomed, but not happy. For Eli, no amount of luxury can stifle the dull routine of living in the same place, with only his 2 sisters, only his father and mother, doing the same thing day after day after day. As problems with their carefully planned existence threaten to destroy their sanctuary and their sanity, Eli can't help but wonder if he'd rather take his chances outside. Eli's father built the compound to keep them safe, but are they safe or sorry? And it sounds like a darker version of, if you've seen the movie Blast from the Past with Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone, where the dad is convinced that the Russians, the communists, are going to come and bomb everybody, so he builds a bomb shelter under the house and locks them in when a plane crashes and he thinks bombs are going off, he thinks the world has ended. He seals them in for 30 years, I think. That is definitely more humorous of that story. I think this one would probably be more serious, more thriller-y. Very bottom of the front says, Eli's father built the compound to keep their family safe. Now they can't get out. He won't let them. That just sounds very good. So yeah, this is the 6 books that I bought. And I'm quite excited to read them. I'm reading a very thick book about Robin Hood right now called The Lady of the Forest. Forgive the pencil-drawn cover. This is by Jennifer Roberson, and it is a very thick book. But it's a novelization of the Robin Hood story. So far, Robin Hood has come back from fighting the Crusades at the side of King Richard, and he's at this sort of welcome back party run by his dad, the Duke or the Earl? Earl of Locksley. Earl. Run by the Earl. He's being the dutiful son, staying at his dad's side, and he runs into Marian, Maid Marian, who he knew in the past. They bumped into each other at a Christmas party and shared a kiss, I don't know. I'm loving the novelization so far. I'm probably going to do a review on this book when I finally finish the thing, but it's very long. So yeah, I just wanted to share what I bought. A little bit of a book haul. I gotta start doing this more often because honestly, I buy books a lot and I read books a lot. So I have a feeling I'm probably gonna end up doing more book-related things on this channel. But I hope y'all are having a wonderful day and I will see you later. Bye.